Adam.
Justin, good to meet you.
Finally good to meet you. How are you?
Yeah, very well, thank you. In sunny Costa del Southsea, Portsmouth, South Coast.
And you've got a very big smile on your face because...
Yes. This is a new property purchased for the portfolio. So the plan with this one is I actually bought it pre-market. So there's an estate agent local to here. I'd been to view a few other properties around the area, put in offers, so he kind of knew I was serious, but ultimately wasn't successful with those offers. And he rang me up one day and said, look, I've got this, before it goes live, do you want to come and take a view? I said, yeah, absolutely. Came down, put the offers in. First one rejected, as it should be, because if it's accepted first time, then it's not the best offer. But the second one did get accepted.
Brilliant, and a classic example of why it's important to get out there, view, build relationships,
absolutely.
Isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Good. Well, show us around, Adam. I'm keen to have a look.
Yeah, come on in. So, kind of external-wise, the plan is going to freshen up all of this. New UP front door. This is kind of the worst of the condition, or it will get more worse than this, but the builders started earlier in the week, so this is only 5 days in. This is reception room 1. As you can see, there's going to be spotlights all throughout downstairs, new flooring, vinyl all on the bottom floor. All of this will be ripped out, blocked up, plastered back to brick where needs be, new radiators, really kind of freshen it, bring it to a modern standard, ready for the rental market.
Yeah, I think it's a really fine example of like you're doing it for a BRR style.
Absolutely.
Where you're still putting in nice things like the spotlights on the ground floor.
Yeah.
But you're not going over the top for like a flip finish, are you?
Exactly, yeah, exactly that.
Good, okay, let's head on round then to the next room.
Yeah, so it's going to be plain and simple, mind the electrics. just white walls, sort of a vinyl throughout as we come into dining room / reception room 2. Storage facilities under there, again, block this up. It's kind of the same throughout all of the rooms, new radiators. Yeah, just to give it that new life. I think this property was built 1930s, and I found out from the neighbour that the gent rented it, or his family rented it, from a child. So they were the first people in the 1930s, family had it, he then rented it throughout his entire life, until unfortunately he's had to go into a home. But yeah, quite a story behind it. And we actually found in the garden, in the shed, his old, because obviously Portsmouth's a massive naval city, his old apprentice toolbox from when he worked in the shipyard.
No way.
Yeah, it's
That's
crazy.
an antique,
Crazy what you find on these old properties.
I feel like that's quite common round here, is people living in properties for quite a long time.
Absolutely.
Isn't it? Where that isn't always the case in other parts of the UK. So that's interesting to hear that. And when you're coming into a building like this, for anyone watching, it's kind of daunting if you've not done property before.
Absolutely.
With, I guess, the condition it's currently in.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
You've got to look past it, haven't you? You've got to look at kind of where it's at, find the good and the bad points when you're obviously doing the cost evaluation, breaking it down. But you've got to look at what's going to be the end picture, right? What it's going to look like when it's finished, and that's what kind of gets you excited to say, got it. And with property and development, it always gets ugly before it gets pretty.
For sure. So good, okay. And again, this is a really nice light room. What have we got at the back here?
So through here is the kitchen. So as I was saying, the builders, we've just got a single builder because time versus money. On the previous renovation we did, it was a family property. So we kept it in the family. I said, let me project manage the whole refurb. There was pros and cons to that. I learned a lot from the process, but the property's down an hour away in Bournemouth. So family did all of the strip out ourselves, which took weeks. You know, all of these things, like we plastered it during the winter, or not ourselves, but it was plastered during the winter with no heating. So it took weeks to dry out, which is why, looking back, that renovation start to finish took 6 months. And yes, there was cost saved, but with this, we're looking at a turnaround time of 10 to 12 weeks from start to finish. And in my mindset now, I'm like, well, yes, it'll cost more, but it'll mean it'll be ready for the market earlier and more rental income.
Absolutely, and the main difference between that being the fact that you're using a build team on this versus individual trades.
Absolutely.
What did you find working, or how did you find working with individual trades on the, how did you find working with individual trades on the last one?
Stressful, difficult. They all want to blame each other for everything. But when you've just got, one build team where it's sort of all in-house, you've got one contact,
Yeah.
never any disagreements because ultimately they're a team of themselves. But yeah, that's why this time it's going to be in, build team, done, out. And I think for the future, it depends on the type of property. Like this is an extensive refurb.
Yep.
So something more lighter might look at individual trades, but for this, most definitely a one team job.
And further question on the build team, did you just meet with them? Did you talk with others? How did you go about finding them?
I had 3 builders come out. One came really cheap, so I was like, no, not for me. One was middle of the range, but there was a few. I'm very odd in the way that they turned up late, so immediately I was like, right. They turned up in not a professional van, and nothing against, people don't have these fancy vans, but the other one that I've gone with, obviously the quote was more expensive, but I've had recommendations. I've been to see the work they've done, and I just liked everything about them. And that's why I said, I've got the confidence in them. And when we were actually going random plans, some of the builders were like, oh, that's going to be a real issue. Whereas they were like, no, we'll get that sorted. And I was like, I like that type of energy, but it's not a problem. We'll get it sorted and we'll get it resolved.
It's exactly that. It's that mindset of we'll overcome problems versus we'll moan about problems.
Exactly.
It's spotting those like individual traits. I think what you've done there, isn't it? It's not because an element of it is professionalism, an element is gut and seeing their previous work. So you've kind of done all of that, which is great. So this is obviously the kitchen, as you said. What's the plan in here in terms of units?
Yeah, so kitchen-wise, we've had, builders again, they're great. They've organised Ren to come out. They're going to get Howdens to come out and measure up already. There's going to be kitchen, sink, there's going to be space for the washing machine. There's not really enough room for a dishwasher in this kitchen. Boiler's going to be cupboards and fridge freezer, or space for fridge freezer will be ready there. And then kind of behind where you're standing, there's going to be all sort of corner units, the oven and the hob, extractor fan, and really just a lot of space for storage.
Yeah, again, I think it's an ideal size really, because even with the cupboards either side, you'll have a good, decent width here, won't you?
That's it.
Nice, okay. And at the back of the house?
Back of the house, so as I was mentioning, where this is 1930s, their bathroom used to be a hut in the garden. Yeah. So then, or as it came about, they need a bathroom in the house, which is why a lot of these in Portsmouth is an extension, a flat roof extension. So bathroom in here, you probably want to wear a mask before you catch something. Things like this, the mold, etc., would scare a lot of people away. However, you've got to find the solution to what's caused the problem. For this, the flat roof is very old, so that's going to get replaced. There's poor extraction and it's been vacant for a long time, tenant. So that's what caused the problem, but ultimately it can be resolved. Configuration-wise, toilets are going to stay where it is. There'll be sink basin, kind of units there, a towel rail behind you. I'm going to go for a raised walk-in shower where I am now with a glass screen. Tiling wise, up to here and across this back wall, just to give it a bit of a standout effect. Yes. Grey sort of slate tiles, and it'll be, just on these 2 walls here.
Any ideas on tap colours, any final?
I'm really not too crazy about it. Just white basins, white nice toilets, not the cheap stuff, but silver, chrome, something like that. I'm quite open to it.
Just good quality.
Just good quality, yeah.
And again, you're thinking more like long term, aren't you?
Exactly.
Rental.
Exactly.
And so I think this is well proportioned. Given that it's a small bathroom, it's laid out perfectly to allow the shower to go there, with the window there, with the toilet there.
Yeah.